We are going to dive in to how can you prepare for an IEP meeting as a parent?
So I think one of the most important things is that you do prepare for an IEP meeting. I think a lot of parents don't really know how, and some of that information is on the website, but you cannot go into these meetings cold and expect great outcomes. The primary issues that I think you need to take care of are creating that parental input. You should be documenting all of your concerns that you have for your child, as well as your child's strength that maybe the team might not be seeing, and getting that to the IEP team ahead of time so that they're prepared to address the issues that you have during the meeting. Secondarily, and we'll talk more about this, is really reviewing those draft documents that you get 3 days ahead of the meeting.
I'm so glad that you brought up parent input, Judy. That is one of the most powerful documents that gets attached to the IEP, which is a legal document. It's also your way of creating a record. We have an entire video where we go through exactly how you document your parental input. How do you put things in there like data that you have from your private providers, your own input, things like you said, Judy, maybe that the team's not aware of, changes in medication, behavior, needs, things that you're anticipating coming up around future education or employment or functional living. Those are key areas that you can document, really understanding your functional levels of performance. Those are the foundation of your entire IEP. Without really understanding where your child's at, how can you understand if you have a good goal or measure that goal? So really understanding that coming into an IEP meeting. And if you're not sure how, finding help to make sure you're understanding it. I'm really glad you brought that up. Phil, anything else that you would add to that on preparing for an IEP meeting?
I agree on the present levels of performance. That is actually the most important part of the IEP, because that's the starting point. And you can't really write goals until you have that starting point down, so you know where the child is currently performing on various aspects of their education. So great point there. No, I'll bring up the 3-day disclosure rule. Judy mentioned it. This is relatively new in Illinois. It's an Illinois law, not a federal law, and it's as of July 1, 2020. So it's only about 3 years old, that the parent has to receive no later than 3 school days before the meeting all written materials that will be considered by the team at the meeting. The parent can choose a method by which the materials will be delivered, but they must include regular mail or the parent picking up the materials at school. They can also include, if they want to, electronic transmission or some other way of delivery. 3-day rule. So review your material, or if you don't understand them, try to find somebody who can help explain them to you. Take notes and write your questions down. If you have questions about something, write your questions down before you go to the meeting. The only thing that they will not provide are IEP components that relate to the educational service minutes, and the related service minutes, and the educational placement, because those have to be deliberated at the meeting by the team of which you are a member. You're an equal member of the team. Just be aware of that requirement.
I'm so glad you said that, Phil. Full disclaimer, everything we're talking about here, we are all in Illinois. Some of special education law is federally protected and enacted. However, each state has their own individual laws as well that fall within the federal parameters. So we highly, highly recommend that you use this as a tool to spark your curiosity, to find out more information, to understand that you do have rights, and to learn some buzzwords so that you go find information for your local area. It's important that you find an attorney or an advocate that is specialized in special education. That is very critical, and we will have a video on exactly how do you interview and find someone who is an advocate or a special education attorney specifically specialized in special education in your area. So let this be a guide. This is certainly not legal advice. So with that, anything else you would add to how can I prepare for an IEP meeting?
The only other thing I would add is, and we could talk for hours about goals, but I think it's really important for parents to read those goals, to understand them, and to really ask themselves, do they make sense? Are they measurable? Are they realistic? Are they something that you believe your child can attain? Or what I see quite often is, are they too easy? We want to be sure that our kids are being challenged and that we have high expectations for them. So really review the goals. And if you have questions, be sure and ask.
And the other question I would ask as well, is the goal something that I really want the school to focus on for my child? Is this something that really is a problem area? Because sometimes they'll write a goal that has no relationship to the child's actual needs. And,
Absolutely.
you know,
And is there something that you want them to be working on that they're saying they won't?
right.
That's
Yeah.
a common problem too.
I know we have a lot more questions to cover, so stay tuned. In the meantime, our network of amazing professionals in this area have put together different resources. We've put them all on breakingautism.com. You're welcome to follow us there, as well as on YouTube, where you can get the latest resources completely ungated, completely free. We don't follow you. We don't collect your information. This is purely a passion of ours, trying to help our children to get the appropriate education that they need. If you have questions, as always, you are welcome to reach out to us at info@breakingautism.com. If you heard words here today that didn't make sense to you, or maybe triggered something, maybe there's something in your gut sparked, let that be a message and listen to it to research and learn more. So with that, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.